everybody, we're back.
Hey.
Thanks so much for joining us for our newest episode of Miss Young Homeowner. Today we have something really different for you guys. Chanel, take it away, girl.
Alright, so today we're going to play a little game about the pros and cons of home ownership. So we have these cards laid out here on the counter. We're just going to pick one up, throw it up. You guess to see if it's a pro or a con, and then we'll explain the correct answer.
Okay, so who wants to go first?
I'll go. First card, community investment.
Big pro. That's a big pro for me. I worked hard for a few years and I was ready to take my money and put it in a place that I love, which is the neighborhood that I have the privilege of living in now.
Next we have building a legacy. I would definitely say that this is a pro of home ownership, and it all depends on what your end goal is. But I think we talked about this in our first or second episode, the why behind our buy. And the why behind my buy for buying a house was to build a legacy. I want to be able to pass something down to my kids.
A word.
Whether it's being able to sell my condo to afford their college tuitions, or using this condo to rent it out and make money. Whatever the case might be.
Kids to live there.
Exactly.
When they need a place.
Exactly. So this is a pro for me.
Here's a good one. Calling the shots. Okay?
Yeah.
Your spot, your shots
Yes.
to call.
Yes, that's definitely a pro.
That's probably my favorite.
Yes.
Now that don't mean that sometimes you gotta call shots that you don't want to call, but you still gotta call them, and they're yours to call.
Yes.
So you'll never be able to say that anywhere else other than your own home.
Yes. And I mean, even if you do get a roommate, it's your house. So if you want to paint a color of the wall tangerine orange, it's your prerogative. You pay the mortgage, so you call the shots.
Yes, shot caller.
Shot caller. So this is definitely a pro.
Tax deduction.
Yes.
What
Definitely.
do y'all think this is?
So when you say tax deductions, I think that's a pro. There are certain parts of your mortgage that are tax deductible, such as the property tax as well as the interest, I believe.
Yes.
So the more deductions you have, the better in general with taxes.
Yes. And when you first start paying your mortgage, most often you're paying a lot of the interest. So in those first however many years, you get your biggest tax deduction that you're gonna get from the house because of the amount of interest that you're paying.
Yeah.
And when you get that money back, invest it back in yourself,
Yes.
or like in your home or whatever.
Yeah.
Get your head done.
Yeah. Don't get the most. What this one is. Ooh, patience.
Oh Lord, I needed that.
Patience is a con,
Well, it's definitely needed.
It's
in the
necessary.
process.
Definitely needed.
but it's rough.
Yes. Whether
It's
you
worth
have
it,
it or
yeah.
not.
If you've seen our Managing Your Expectations episode, you'll know that patience is hard, but it's worth it. Less flexibility, and that can be financial flexibility, physical flexibility.
I think it's in the terms of what we're talking about, it's a con. Like if you're renting, you may be able to take a job abroad or like move cross country, but it's hard to do that when you have a property to take care of in a state. So having an investment does tie you down in a certain way, and you have less disposable income to just like go to brunch with and go to vacation with. Or
Yeah.
Maintenance and repair.
Con.
Oh my god.
Definitely a
The worst. Don't get me started.
It's kind of a pro con though when you think about it, because then you get new stuff
True.
at a high expense, but it's new.
But the thing about renting, if something goes wrong, your landlord is obligated to fix it with no out-of-pocket cost to you. That is not the case when you have a house.
Yes.
Right, you could be without a stove for weeks if you don't get it done.
Or
So-
heat, or hot water,
or electricity, whatever.
And definitely make sure you have a rainy day fund, or rainy day fun things like maintenance and repairs, because I've been in my house a little, 3 months or so, and things have already gone wrong. Like my dishwasher is broken.
I've had to have my roof repaired.
You had to have your roof repaired?
I had a leak in my bathroom, and I had one guy come out and tell me I needed a whole new roof, to which I nearly fainted. But I had somebody else come out. I got a second opinion, and they was able to just repair
Roofs
it.
are expensive.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know.
That's not a rainy day fund. That's a thunderstorm.
That's not all my savings fund.
Wow.
Boom! Having pride in ownership. Pride is such a beautiful thing.
is.
That's a big pro.
Pro.
It's a
That's
pro.
a big pro. know how proud y'all must feel?
Yeah, I'm proud of y'all. I'm proud of y'all.
When you step up on that first step, you like, I owned it.
Key in the door.
Yes. Or anytime you host family and friends over and like just
big proud moment.
Yeah, so
and they're probably proud too.
Exactly. It's a beautiful thing.
In the words of 2 Chainz, I'm just trying to make my mama proud. I ain't trying to let my mama down.
Long-term commitment.
It's a little bit of both. Pro and con.
same.
Because the long-term commitment could be a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Like with the moving situation, or you can't just up and leave, pack your bags. But also it's good like if you're ready to settle down and like you want something stable.
When I originally saw that, I thought it was a con, but you could be in a place where you want long-term commitment.
Yeah.
But I think that is a very big thing to consider if you want to buy a house. Like if you would rather just have your month-to-month lease or 6-month lease, if you want that flexibility, then buying a house isn't for you. But if you're looking for more commitment, more stability, then
if you're ready to plant some root, like get those roots going.
Serious roots.
Yeah, because I don't know if we've discussed this, but a mortgage is on average 30 years long. So that's a long time, and not to say that you couldn't sell before that 30 years, but the expectation when you buy is that you are contractually obligated to this space for 30 years.
That's a great point.
Mortgage payments.
Kind of both.
Yeah. Sometimes you luck up and your mortgage payments, depending on the area that you're in and I guess the size of your house and the location of it and everything, your mortgage payments can be a lot lower than rent.
Right.
I mean, you are also responsible for everything else. There's nothing really like included in the mortgage payments other than like your bills aren't included in the mortgage payments.
Right.
You know, your utilities, that's on you. But on the other hand, you know, it could be great or it could be bad. I don't know what I'm saying.
I think the reason why we say it could be either a pro or a con is because on one hand it can be cheaper than renting. Granted, there's a lot of upfront costs, but once you get into the flow, your mortgage can be less than your typical rent.
Yeah.
However,
Your
mortgage payments do consist of a lot more things than a regular lease would. So like with your mortgage payments, you have your property tax, you have your interest, and your principal. Those are the 3 constructs that make up your mortgage.
and homeowners insurance. Sometimes that can also be included in that monthly mortgage bundle.
Yeah, so given all of that, it can be a little overwhelming versus just a flat out like rent and you know your utilities and like that's that.
But you can do it.
Let's see, predictable payments. Pro or con?
Pro.
Pro, absolutely.
Yes.
Pro. Utilities fluctuate, but to have something that you know is going to be the same month after month is good.
Yeah, so this kind of ties into the last card we just read, but your mortgage payment is fixed. Like unless you refinance or other factors happen, but having that fixed mortgage really allows you to budget monthly, and it's just easier to deal with a number that's unchanging versus your rent that may go up drastically, and there's nothing you can do about it. So,
I mean, when you think about like utilities in comparison, your electricity depends on how much electricity you use. Your principal mortgage amount does not depend on how many days out of the year you actually stay in the house.
Right.
How many hours a day you're actually in the house. Nope, that's it. It is what it is. So I think it's a pro.
I think it's a problem.
I'll pick this one. Long-term benefit.
Whoo, long-term benefits. Well, that's a pro.
It's a pro. It's a benefit.
Some of the long-term benefits is it's an investment. It's an investment, and depending on where you are, the property value in that area can continue to increase, which means that you could sell your house for a lot more than you bought it for, and that's money in your pocket. So not only are you satisfying whatever remaining amount you have on your mortgage, but you get to pocket some cash and move on to the next spot.
Agreed.
So it's great. It could be that legacy, you know, it can help with that legacy. Okay. Building equity.
The biggest
Remember our vocab word?
Oh,
yes.
Equity.
Yes, equity. So that is just what I was referencing. Equity. So if I could just use a number, say that you have a $200,000 mortgage that you have to satisfy. You know, that's the amount of your loan remaining. But your house, you're able to sell that for $300,000. So you get to walk away with a good amount. That's the equity right there. That's the whole point of it all.
Yeah, so we define equity in episode 2, so make sure you check that out. But that is something that you'll continuously hear us talk about, because that is one of the biggest things of investing in general, not just in real estate, but just investing is like, it is
equity.
Yep, sure is.
Generating an income. So this is something that I am trying to look into. This can be a pro for a lot of reasons. One of them is, let's say you have a house, like for instance, my condo is 3 bedrooms. I'm looking to rent out one of the rooms, and that's gonna help me pay my mortgage. Like whatever I charge that tenant, they can give me a certain amount of money that can go into my mortgage. That means more money that I'm saving. Some people even buy property for rental purposes. Like it's just a rental investment. That's goals for me. I want to get there one day.
Yes, ma'am. So you could be turning a profit on your own property, and eventually your property could pay for itself.
Or even if you have other rooms and you want to use it for like business clients or whatever that comes in.
Yes, you can like make a studio, charge people.
So much you can
Hair
do.
salon, hit me up. Here's a big one.
The F word.
Foreclosure. Okay, so foreclosure's tough, you know. Sometimes it's definitely a con.
Definitely a con.
Sometimes people can default on the loan, which basically means that, you know, you're no longer paying your mortgage, and the mortgage company, they don't like that. They don't like that, so they're not gonna continue to let you. They're not going to continue to let you stay in the house if you're not paying for it. So this is kind of every homeowner's worst nightmare. For sure.
Yes.
For sure. Yeah. So it's definitely a con, but it comes with the territory. Trying to avoid foreclosure is a big deal. It's key. Major key.
Yeah, and we'll talk about this way more, because foreclosure is a process. I realized it's like a 6 month to a year process. I didn't know it was such a drawn out thing. But just to educate you all on what it is, we'll definitely have an episode dedicated to what foreclosure is and how to avoid it.
How to avoid it, because we're doing this every day.
So this is a con, for sure.
And lastly, we have upfront costs. So what you pay when at the table when you buy your home.
They can be big or they can be small.
Yeah. So some things are like closing costs, which entail things like
it can entail a year's worth of your property taxes, stuff like that. I mean, it just includes a lot of things. You will get
like a down payment, your property taxes for the year, your escrow, HOA fee in advance, things like that.
The same way you have to pay, like, what is it, 3 months rent or a security deposit or something like that, first month's rent.
Yeah, like take that and times it by 10.
By a million.
And that's like all your upfront costs associated with buying a house. So like this part of the home buying process blew me away. Not to discourage anyone, I'm just being honest. I had no idea the amount of upfront costs associated with buying a house. I mean, every week it was, my lender was telling me a new amount I had to write a check for it. And I'm like, I'm not gonna have enough money to buy furniture, which is another upfront cost.
Yes.
But
all of those costs change. They can change. Like, they can give you an estimate of what your closing costs will be, what your upfront costs will be, and the day before closing, that could change. So either way, we know y'all ready. Y'all been riding with us all season long, so we're not worried about y'all.
Yeah, we'll break down all of what you'll need in season 2, but upfront cost is and can be a con. But it's just something you can prepare for with more knowledge. The more knowledge you have, the better you can properly prepare. So, but we just wanted to give these things to y'all so you can have them to think about and, you know, just figure out what's the best journey for you.
Yes.
Rent or buy.
Or buy.
Yes, that's all we have for today's episode, y'all. We will see y'all next week. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave comments below, and definitely check out our website for more information about this episode and all of our previous episodes.
And follow us on social media.
Yes. Thanks, guys.
Bye.